guys? Welcome back to another episode of Fit Business. I'm Matt Weik here with Jimmy Mentis. We got another special guest, somebody close to you. It's in our ballpark, our wheelhouse. We love what this gentleman does. So, Jimmy, why don't you introduce who we got today?
Well, if it wasn't for this gentleman, we wouldn't be building muscle. Think about it. Well, today we have a very good friend of mine, long-time friend of mine, Mike Ciccalone. Spell that one.
I had to ask him.
Yeah, I don't even know how to spell it. He is the owner of Fitnessmith. Mike, good to see you, man.
Good morning.
Yeah, it is. Shit, it is morning.
It's still morning.
Wow. Wow. Mike, tell us, obviously it's multiple angles, right, of what Fitnessmith does, but give us in a matter of 20 seconds, and then we'll talk about the business, because I have a lot of questions, and I want to be able to let our viewers understand what this business is about, because it's a category of business, right? What does Fitnessmith do?
Yeah, well, on its simplest form, Fitnessmith is a fitness equipment sales and service company. But like, if you were to ask me, I met you in an elevator, I'd say Fitnessmith is a 360-degree fitness equipment solutions partner. That's the answer I like a little bit better.
I like that one too, because that's what you are. Now, here's the Matt, this is the beauty of this business. First of all, I walk into his warehouse. It's got to be at least 50,000 square feet warehouse, right? I walk in, it's my playground. You got brand new equipment, you got old school equipment, dumbbells left and right. So Mike, when you guys, so I own a gym, or yep, I'm opening a gym. Let me just put you on the spot here. I already have a gym. It's old. It's not doing too well. I hire you, you come in. Take me through that process.
Yeah, so one of the things that we do different, right? So 25 years in the industry, and I always like to say our team here is a multidiscipline background, right? So one of the ways that we try to distinguish ourselves, or the value that we offer our customers, is the fact that we've been in the fitness business and we're not experts on equipment. A lot of times it's the first thing that you do as an operator or a potential entrepreneur that's going to open the fitness business, you think equipment, and you do all the research on the equipment. And a lot of the companies that sell that are experts in the equipment that they sell, not necessarily experts in the business that they're in. And I think that's an important distinction, because there's a famous line. I have someone sitting across my desk. They're getting ready to open up a health club, and I'll sell them. Say, listen, I sell these certain brands, X, Y, and Z. Here's what I can tell you unequivocally: the brands, the make of the equipment that you put in your facility has nothing to do with the success.
Right. The
mix of the equipment and the purposeful mix of equipment that you put in a facility, the way that it's laid out, if it's intimidating or therefore really non-intimidating for the demographic that you're going after. And some of the things that Fitnessmith does, we do dues-paying facilities, and we've been very, very fortunate to consult for some of the leading players in the industries. But our lane that we do a lot of work is with developers, and some developers do student housing, some do it for families, some are doing it for baby boomers. You give me 3 rooms the same size, and one's for millennials, one's for baby boomers, we're going to design them totally different. Just so like you wouldn't design a workout the same for a 55-year-old as a 25-year-old.
Right. So you would come into a business or a new business and basically try to understand what they want to accomplish, and you accordingly set the table, basically.
Yeah, and some of this is just through being like, so I think this, Jimmy, you were a professional bodybuilder, right? And you had a passion for that. So I like to hire people or get people in the industry that have a passion for this industry. And I always say, like, the joke is like, when they see my shirt, hey, you were a trainer, I'm like, listen, I've been in the fitness industry 25 years. I know nothing about fitness. I'm an expert in the fitness business, but don't ask me to give you a workout, because that's not my lane, and I'm passionate about it. And one of the things that we're very fortunate is I've seen a lot of businesses, as you guys know, open and close. Well, right. Why did they open and close? Well, why in 2008 when Orange Theory was just an idea and I was sitting in their office and they were explaining to me their concept. Why did I think that was a great idea? And then look at their success now. They over 1,100 studios open, corporate revenues exceed $1 billion. Why did that work when so many others failed? And that's what I love to try to figure out. And then when we do have a client in front of us and we're trying to design a gym, we try to share those experiences to make sure they don't. One of the things I love most is when someone sits in front of me and I'm like, I don't think you should open. And I'm like, I only make money if I sell you equipment, but I think this is a bad idea. And I've done that 3 times in my life, and they were big. Like, it could have been $300,000-$400,000 orders.
Wow.
And one example was a woman in Sarasota who wanted to open up a gym for her son, and she was wealthy. I'm like, I think you're going to lose all your money.
Wow. Well, you know what? That's why you guys are successful. You actually look at the positive side, and you try to make it right. If you see it not adding up, the numbers not adding up, or the passion, if there's no passion there, then numbers aren't going to come out. Matt.
But now, Mike, you do a lot more than just gym and fitness center like facilities. I mean, you're also doing universities.
Yeah.
You're doing stuff like hotels, right?
Yeah. So we, one of the things that when we explain who Fitnessmith is, and when we say, we think we're uniquely qualified to create a room for you, the background is that we say our experience is wide and deep. So we do educations, like University of Miami's been my customer for 15 years. And, they're, obviously D1 private school with lots of budget. They can buy from anyone. So I'm very, very fortunate. We do police and fire. We've done 176 Hilton properties around the country, mostly like Hampton Inn, Hilton Garden Inns. Those are kind of a little bit more structured in the design, but able to do that outside and the logistics and making sure that that's easy. But boutique studios is something that we do, either group cycle and or HIT, which is huge right now. Mm-hmm. And it's really interesting to see how this industry changes from. I opened my first health club in 1994 in North Miami Beach, as Jimmy knows. How it's changed from the 80s when I was a member to today, and the ups and downs in big box, small box, going back to big box. So, right now, in the fitness world, they're kind of things are going back bigger. Like the Crunchers are 30,000 square feet. LA Fitnesses are 35,000 square feet. UFITs are 30. You're seeing that lane that was going smaller. Now they're actually going bigger again, being full service.
And right. with the way the market is today, and I mean, obviously you see gyms opening and closing literally every single day. You have places like Retro Fitness, Planet Fitness, all of the $10 to $20 membership type of gyms popping up everywhere. Anytime Fitness, I mean, you name it. And you see the mom and pops closing because they can't compete based off price. So when people come to you and they're like, hey, I'm going to be opening up a gym, or hey, I have an existing gym and I want to add to it or replace certain items, are you seeing that the market today is moving more towards new or more towards refurbished, where they can get the same type of quality product? It might have some dings, might be a little beat up, might have some wear and tear on it, but they go that route to try and save some coin. So is it more refurbished or new that you're seeing in today's market?
Actually, it's a great question. So what I can tell you is when the economy's good, as it is, we've had really a 9-year run, and money is relatively easy to get, which it is right now. Predominantly, we're seeing more new. When the economy, like 2008, 2009, used business was through the roof. The people who tend to do used now are more of your personal training entrepreneurs opening boutique studios, right? They're doing a boutique studio or a neighborhood gym. They will do used and get tremendous value. One of the most unfortunate things is when we're called in to a health club that, let's just say it's a big box, high volume, $10 and $20, it doesn't work, 25,000 square feet. They probably spent $400,000 in equipment, and maybe on the resale market, if they have to sell it to a wholesale, they'll end up with 80. Ooh. And it's 3 years old. So, once the equipment, literally, it's almost like if you buy a Mercedes, you keep it a month, you bring it back. Same thing with fitness.
Right. By the way, Matt, I don't know if you know this, but yeah, you do. I think you do. Fitnessmith, Mikey and Frank are major sponsors of the pit.
Well, you
Yes,
got
I've
all of
donated
your
to the
equipment,
cause.
right?
I mean, let's put it this way. Mike calls me up and he goes, "Hey, I got 15, 16 pieces. Do you want them?" He goes, "Go to this address and see if you want them," right? Can I tell him the story?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Matt, this is because he's the only one in the world who would want him. So I
so I get up, I go to Pembroke Pines. They were switching out some equipment, right? So I walk over there, I go in there and I text Mike. I'm like, "Mike, they're purple." He goes, "What are they worth to you?" I'm like, "Nothing." He goes, "Do you want them?" Like that. And I said, "Of course I'm going to take them." You know, I mean, they were old school Bodymaster, but they were purple. And I said, "You know what? I can get past this purple thing. I can, because they were, again, old school Bodymaster, right?" So then I went into the warehouse and I picked out dumbbell racks. I picked out from 5 pounds to 110-pound dumbbells. I got plates. Like, Mike has played a huge, Mike and Frank have played a huge role in the pit. Huge, so thank you. I just, I want our viewers to know that whenever they hear about the pit, that you guys were major behind the pit.
It's really unique. I think what you're doing, there's a club chain in California, and I don't recall their name, but they're going, I think they have 7 locations, and they're going into B plazas where maybe a Toys R Us went out of business, and they're doing old style 90s type facilities where, if you were fortunate to work out in the 90s, you have 5 Olympic flats and 3 inclines and 3 declines, and you have 5 squat racks in a row, like that type of gym, because that was weeded out over the last 10 years. I think now the other change I'm seeing is the operators, at least the good ones, are taking the free weight area and they're enlarging them. Right. Like, they're not trying to, because women, teenagers, seniors, they're not afraid of the free weight area. Dumbbells are important. They might not be as heavy dumbbells. But so I think the good operators that are out there are actually putting a lot of time, effort, and energy in that space. And as someone who consults on these layouts, a lot of the expensive equipment is what we call selectorized. The selectorized piece of equipment is anything with the weight stack, and those are expensive. And we're Fitnessmith generally, unless it's a 55 and older that needs fixed path selectorized equipment, try to minimize that amount of that equipment, not maximize it.
Right. So, but, again, whenever I come to the warehouse, I see trucks being loaded out, in the back, and so where's when you extract old equipment, okay, what do you do with it besides give it to me?
That's a great question. It's funny. So I always say, Fitnessmith is a 360-degree fitness equipment solutions partner. So that means everything, all encompassing. So we're very fortunate. We have a service division. We have the state's largest service company with 17 tax offices in Orlando, Tampa, Naples, soon Jacksonville, and West Palm Beach, where we're based out of. When we do equipment, we do new and used. And I'll give you an example. I got a call from a colleague that I worked with at Wellbridge when I ran the athletic club in Boca. And he is getting ready to open up a 30,000 square foot club in Denver. And he's like, "Mike, we have 4 existing locations. We're going to close one. We have this new one opened." And he's like, "This is great because I need you to fly out and sell the used equipment, help me design on the new. We do flooring because that's part of the all-encompassing. So on the used, on something like that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly out to Denver, take pictures, inventory, and used equipment essentially goes out 2 ways. We wholesale it, and it'll go to Mexico, Central or South America. We also have a couple of places in Europe. And then what they do is they come over and they'll buy tractor trailer trucks of it. The stuff that's 5 years old or newer, we tend to keep at Fitnessmith. We have our technicians go through it. We have a refurb process. We warranty it. And those are the great items that a friend wants a commercial treadmill at home that I can offer and sell to a homeowner. Although 98% of what we do is B2B. I'm not a B2C player, but personal training studios. If someone's an entrepreneur is opening up a studio and they want it to look new, they just don't have the budget. That's what we do with that used equipment.
Right. And by the way, Matt, he's got a great crew back there. Louie and Lewis, and every time I go back there for like 5 minutes, I'm there for about an hour just hanging out. They do no work when I'm there. Great crew, man. You got a great team back there. They love Fitnessmith. Great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, one of the things that's one of the things we're most proud of is we don't outsource our installs to a large extent. Even when we do outsource them, they're with partners we've worked with for years, and someone from Fitnessmith is there. The install team's different than the service team. Now, you might think that's the way it's supposed to be. A lot of people in my industry, what they'll do is they'll have 4 or 5 people, and they're out diagnosing one day and repairing, and then, you have a big install the next day, so now they're on the install truck. And what I can tell you unequivocally is the skill set needed to take a weight equipment with a 500-pound weight stack on and off a truck and through a door is very different than a skill set needed to diagnose lower electronics on a treadmill. And so we segregate those two departments.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That makes total sense. I mean, and Mike, when you got to go, I know you have another call, and it looks probably a few minutes. When you got to go, you just let us know. Jimmy, you and I can probably keep going for a little bit. I mean, there's some stuff that I know that we want to talk about.
Right. Mike, show the viewers what you're sitting on. Right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what Mike sits on every day, all day, and he bounces around just like that. There he is. By the way, you look great. You lost the weight. You look great. And you say you don't know fitness? Come on, man.
No, I'm just trying to keep up with my 3 kids, chasing them around. Yeah, I have 2 daughters. One's just turned 13, one's 15. So they're in that age where there's lots of boys all of a sudden coming around. So I'm going to have to hire you, Jimmy, because, my arms are way too small based on the size of these young men that are walking in my backyard. And this is the size of the bathing suits that a 13 to 17-year-old wear is very different than when we were younger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now.
Absolutely. The bad part about it, Matt, is that these guys are in Boynton Beach, and I got a 45-minute drive. If these guys were closer, forget it.
You'd be broke.
It'd be the pit for me. I would literally put a sign outside and call it the pit.
I can't imagine. I mean, I know a few people, one guy in particular who's out of Richmond, Virginia, and he does something similar to you. And I remember I went to his warehouse. This was back when I was working with Metrex, Jimmy, and I was doing business with this guy, selling him supplements for his location. And I just remember walking into the warehouse, and it's nowhere close to what you're describing to us, Mike. And I just remember walking in, and it was like a kid in a candy store. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? Like, am I playing it cool? What's going on here? And he's like, dude, you have your gym stuff in your car, right? He's like, it's about 5 o'clock. Why don't you just change and try some of this stuff out? And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Okay, cool. I can't imagine. How many pieces do you think that you have?
It changes. What I can tell you is I have 6 tractor trailer trucks that are overflow that, that are full. Because, you never know when you're going to need the space. The hardest thing about the used equipment business is it requires a lot of space. Because you can't stack treadmills. They're not in boxes. You can't stack weight equipment, right? So you need literally just square footage, which is one of the disadvantages I have being in Palm Beach County, where rents aren't necessarily inexpensive. There are some places like in the Carolinas where they'll have 100,000 square foot warehouse. Places in California that have 100,000 square feet, and they're just dedicated to use and a refurbished process. So ours go in and out, and it's interesting. So. At any one time, I probably easily have $500,000 to $750,000 of used inventory, just used inventory.
It's crazy. I would go in on a Monday, right? And I'm like, okay, I got everything here. There's nothing Body Master or I carry on left, right? I took it all. And I would go in on a Thursday. I'd be like, when did you get this? I'm trying to trade them out because like, get out of here, But it's an amazing business. It's It's hard. Me building, like, I had the gyms back in the 80s in Greece, right? That's whatever. Me building the pit, I think I've lifted more weight in the last 3 weeks than I did my whole career. It's hard. You know?
You did a lot of the work that a lot of people won't, because usually they'll hire like me, and like I said,
right.
Guys in the warehouse who have to move the Fitnessmith, it's an art. It's an art and how to move it. Yeah.
It is. I mean, I would, those 3 weeks, I didn't need to train. I was a mess, but you know what? I wanted to feel it. I wanted to feel that I was building this thing. You know, I actually felt it. But you know, the business, Mikey. I call you Mikey. I'm sorry. I've known you for so many years. The Fitnessmith business is just amazing. How can someone get in touch with you? How can I mean, I vouch for you guys. Even if you not interested in opening a gym, or you want a piece of equipment, or you want advice on something on what machine to get, you guys, you know, Fitnessmith, you call Mike up, call Frank up. They know their shit, man. It's like it's amazing. So Mike, how can someone get a hold of you?
I mean, obviously, listen, you know, my email's real easy. It's MS for Michael Ciccolone at fitnessmith.com. And I always say, you know, Fitnessmith is one word, 2 S's. So that would be the only things. Most people are going to write fitness and then Smith. And a lot of times, you know, you say, I'm Michael from Fitnessmith, and they say, what? And I'm like Fitnessmith, like shoesmith, blacksmith, and then they get it, right? So, but that's probably the easiest way. Obviously, on our website are all our numbers. You can go to the website and call the main hotline. And then listen, for me, we're in the business, we're in the service business and so cell phones are out. You know, my cell phone's 561-756-0077, and it's out there for anyone to call at any point.
Appreciate that, Mike. You know, everybody's been asking me, hey, where do you get the equipment? Where do you get the equipment? And you know, I keep telling them it's easy. It's easy. You guys know your stuff. And again, I thank you. I thank you for helping me build this pit. It might be a pit too. You never know.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great because
I'm after the concept. You know that.
Lane, right? I think that lane, that type of style of gym, no longer exists, right? You know, generally the world's gyms, the powerhouse gyms, like that old style gym they're really starting to go away, and they're being replaced by big box gyms, be it Crunch or LA or UFit or Choose if you're in Arizona. So I think there's a niche, like for things that go away, that creates an opportunity, and it's very astute of you to see that. Yeah,
no, I like it. No locker rooms, no showers, chalk, loud music. Did you guys see the speakers that I got for the pit?
The pit.
You know, and just go in and train, and that's it. See you later. You know.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for coming on.
Mike,
we
thank you so much.
Matt.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Have a great day, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Jimmy, that was pretty cool. You kept describing his warehouse to me, and I'm like, man, like I went to his website, and as I'm looking through his website, I'm like, it's probably impossible to have a website and keep it up to date with stuff that's constantly coming in, going out. You're taking pictures, you're doing descriptions. I mean, you would literally have to hire somebody full time just to run the website in terms of doing stuff like that. And it seems like with his name and his reputation in the industry, I think just having a website with a landing page that says, this is what we do, here's our numbers, is probably sufficient.
Yep. Like I said, I've gone into the warehouse. I don't even go through the front door anymore. I go in the back and I jump up on the bay. And there was 2 weeks ago, I had told Louis that I wanted, one of the guys back there, that I wanted the 2 flat bench presses. They were Cybex. I'm good. You know, somehow, some way I am, you know, I'm the body master guy. I don't know why. I have no clue why. For some reason, I have a connection with it. So I said, all right, I'll pick them up next week. All of a sudden, I go, and he had a body master bench. And I'm like, when did you get this? He goes, oh, we got this yesterday. Like every day, they get a truckload of equipment. And I just want to sit there and just watch what comes out. It's the most beautiful thing.
And see, here's something that I think a lot of our listeners think about, but they're always it's too expensive to have, you know, my own, not your own gym, but maybe it's like a home gym. Like, I mean, you know that I've had a home gym for years now. I wish I would have known about something like this when I first started out.
Right.
Now, I got my Life Fitness treadmill, my Life Fitness elliptical used, which helped.
Which is the way to go.
Yeah, and I mean, I got it from my buddy who I was talking about earlier. Who, I mean, he does the same thing as what Mike does, and he was just closer to me, and I didn't know Mike at the time. Otherwise, you know, I could have reached out to him too and see what he had. But it saved me a lot of money, and it just made sense. Now, you know, back when I first started this, you know, I was training clients day in and day out. You know, I didn't have my own business at that point. You know, I wasn't working for the supplement company at that point, and you know, for me, it was every time I go to the gym, I end up helping more people, which I'm cool with, but my workouts suffered because somebody want my help here. They would ask me about this, and it's between sets. You know, my short rest period turns into a 5-minute rest period, and I'm not a damn power lifter, so I don't need to be resting for 5 minutes.
Resting.
And I'm like, I just want my own gym. So I had it in my head, like, I'm going to create my own gym and open a gym. Well, that went out the window after I did research and found out how many gyms are failing and how much the startup cost is and stuff like that. The upkeep, the maintenance, and all of that stuff, location. So I said, it doesn't make sense. So I'm like, I'm going to create my own home gym. Now, I made the mistake of buying everything new. So, you know, Smith machines, power racks, cable crossovers, lat pull down, row machine, squat machine, cap machine, CD cap machine. I have recumbent bike, upright bike, the treadmill and elliptical that I mentioned, an ab area, a stretching area. I mean, I made it extensive, like almost my entire basement. It's roughly just under 1,500 square feet for the gym.
That's not bad.
No, it ain't bad at all. And you know, I told my wife when we built our house, I said, you can have the entire house. I don't give a shit what you do with it. But the basement is mine.
Yeah.
So we compromised a little bit of the gym, or a little bit of the basement is not the gym. It's storage. But I mean, I went overboard. I mean, I probably have 40,000+ dumped into my home gym, but it's the one thing that it's my escape.
It's your place.
Exactly. You know, people are like, Matt, you never take vacations. You never go anywhere. And I'm like, you know what? When I need a break, I go work out.
Right.
So, you know, I dumped the money into having good equipment, but I mean, you can get stuff from Fitnessmith and outfit, you know, whatever space you have. I'm sure you can call up Mike and be like, hey, I have a whatever square foot by, you know, whatever area. What can you do for me? And I'm sure Mike can you know, give you ideas. And that's what would be so cool. And I don't think people understand that that's out there. I think they see the Cybex of the world, the Precor of the world, the Life Fitness, the excuse me, the Strive, you know, all the Hammer Strength, all of this stuff, and they're like, I don't have that type of space. But there is stuff that people can purchase. I mean, they don't need to go as deep as, you know, the stuff like you have at the pit. I mean, that stuff takes up a ton of room.
The original pit was a bedroom and a half.
What are you going to do with that?
It's already coming to the pit.
So you're going to transition everything from.
Oh, you can't have both. Here's the reason why I did the pit, the small pit, so I can have my place, right? Yep. Then I realized that, you know what, I'm going to get into my training a little more serious. And then when our neighbor here at the office at the warehouse, he was breaking his lease, and they were basically going to hold him onto his lease. He came to me, goes, hey, you want to take over? I said, let me see what I can do, you know? And to me, that was like, he pushed me over that edge. You know, I looked over to Tammy and I said, what do you think? She goes, do it. You always wanted to do something. So I'm not going to have two places. So I said, you know what? I spend as pleasure $1,500 to $2,000, maybe a car, whatever, you know. So I got rid of one of my cars, believe it or not. I don't have the AGs anymore. I kept the Raptor, and I realized I wasn't even driving those things. So, you know, I'm getting older. I'm getting more mature. I don't know. Those things don't matter to me anymore, right?
Right.
And I got, you know, so I said, I'm paying $2,000 a month rent. That's my play. That's my play. Now, if I turn it into a business and I get some trainers in there that can train their clients and they pay a monthly fee or whatever, I can pay, I'm not really doing this, especially the first one. I'm not really doing this to make money to build a business. I'm doing this so I have somewhere to train, have fun, share it with my friends, share it with other serious people, that kind of stuff. If I like what's happening, then I'm going to create, I'm going to expand into other locations, same concept. But again, that's something that just like you have downstairs, I've created that. And I encourage everybody, especially the guys, and it's coming from me from my own personal experience. Even though I was a professional bodybuilder and I trained like a maniac and it was my lifestyle and stuff like that, when I retired, something happened to me. And I want everybody to listen to this. Something happened to me. And what happened to me was I lost something. And as I got older, I realized that my whole demeanor in life was different. I wasn't as happy. I wasn't as, I'm not saying friendly because I'm more of an introvert, hard to believe, right? So I kept to myself, but I kind of fell into a hole. I'm not talking about a depression hole, like a deep hole, but I kind of fell into a hole. And I started realizing that every time I trained, I felt better. Okay. So now I make sure I train every day because it's my medicine. Before I was training because it was my job. Now I train because I feel so much better. I'm not as, how can I say, the endorphins, I'm not as tired as I used to be. I'm eating healthier. My whole mindset in business is better. It's more confident. Matt, business is business. You're going to have a purchase order of $100,000 come in, and then you're going to have a bill that's going to come in that's going to be $150,000. It's like this all can happen just like that, right? And when this is true what I'm saying. And when I'm in that training mode, I'm able to handle those things. It's not the end of the world, but I see myself that when I don't train, I'm like, oh my God, the world is ending, But when I do train, I am mentally strong. I'm like, I'll take care of that. So if you guys are out there listening to me, make it, I'm not saying go make your own gym, go build your own gym, but go out there, exercise. If you have a spot in your home that you can put even that cable crossover. You ever see that small cable crossover that I have, the Life Fitness? But they're smaller, right?
Yeah.
They're smaller. That's how I started with. I put that in the corner. You can train everything. You get a set of dumbbells, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Like, make it an effort to exercise. I see you go every day, and you train, downstairs. So, and that's where Mike and Frank and Fitnessmith have made a difference in people's lives and people's businesses. They only deal with people who are passionate about building that business. So, I know I'm just blabbing on, but it's just something that I'm understanding about myself, about exercise. And that's why I went all out to build this thing.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny, the timing of this. I literally, was it yesterday? 2 days ago? I don't know. It was this week. So it would have been yesterday or the day before. I actually put out, if you're thinking about having a home gym, something small, on my website, I literally just published an article on the top gym equipment, that you can purchase.
I saw it.
And it's all like based off of space. So it goes from smaller things like resistance bands, a stability ball, maybe adjustable dumbbells, to if you have more space, maybe you go to a 300-pound weight set, the bar with the plates, you get the power rack. And so many people are like, oh, well, how am I going to do cardio? How am I going to do cardio? I mean, yeah, you could buy a treadmill, you could buy a bike, you could buy an elliptical, step mill, whatever. a lot of stuff can be done outside. A lot of stuff can be done in your house. If you have steps, guess what? You have an old school Stairmaster. Walk up and down the steps. There's a lot of stuff that you can do at your home. So while, it's nice to have a gym membership, big facility, you're starting your own gym, you have enough space. Like I've been blessed to have enough space that I can have my own area. You had the ability to have stuff at your home and then transition over to the pit, which it's literally just a walk across the parking lot
it's literally
from BeautyFit to the pit, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't use us as examples of like the norm because we're not normal to begin with, but that aspect of things is definitely
that's a whole show.
Yeah. We might need to be medicated with how obsessed we are with that. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to do something super expensive. I mean, literally, for the price of a yearly gym membership, you can probably get all of the stuff that you need to have at home. And I actually recommend that at all. I mean, I don't know your feelings on this, Jimmy, but I know when I worked at the gym, I basically had my own gym membership because I worked there, but I still preferred at times working out at home when I didn't have time to go to the gym. I mean, you figure some people are driving 30 minutes one way, 30 minutes back. If you're battling traffic, it's going to be even longer. You got fuel prices. You got, all of that, all the time that you're going to spend sitting at traffic lights. Sometimes it's just nice to have no excuses and be like, damn, it's raining out. I don't want to go to the gym.
Right.
Guess what? I have something here that I can utilize. So, take advantage of those types of things. And if you have the time, the energy, the money, the space, definitely reach out to somebody like Mike at Fitnessmith. I mean, he can get you set up, whatever your space, big or small, he can outfit you. So definitely reach out to them. And again, fitnessmith.com is his website. All of his information is there. He also, a couple minutes ago, gave us, or all of you also, his cell phone number. Give him a call. See if he can help out.
That's the type of guy he is. And Frankie is the same way, man. They're just great guys. So obviously you see I'm really connected with them because they've gone way out of their way for years for me. So what else, man? Are we done? Can we go for some money now?
Yeah. I gotta get back to writing. Jimmy's slave driver over here. All right, guys. Well, we're going to sign off. I hope you guys got some value from this episode talking with Mike over at Fitnessmith. For myself, Matt Weik, and Jimmy Mentis, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, an amazing week, an awesome weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend, so be safe out there. Jimmy, what else you got?
Peace.
See you guys.